Good morning, students. Today, in the science, we will discuss the chapter 7 Conservation of the Plants and the Animals. The wide variety of the plants and animals, along with microorganisms living in a particular region, is called the biodiversity. एक पर्टिकुलर रीजन के अंदर जितने भी प्लांट्स हैं, एनिमल्स हैं और माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म, वो सारे मिल करके उस जगह की बायोडाइवर्सिटी की फॉर्मेशन करते हैं. Biodiversity shows a richness of species in the particular area or the habitat. बायोडाइवर्सिटी किसी भी जगह की या किसी भी रहने की जगह की रिचनेस ऑफ स्पीसीज़, यानी कि वहाँ पे कितनी तरह की स्पीसीज़ पाई जाती हैं, उन सब के बारे में बताने का काम करती है. द biodiversity of a desert, a grassland or a forest is very important, very different from the one another. यानी कि हर जगह की बायोडाइवर्सिटी अलग अलग होती है. डेजर्ट की अलग होती है, ग्रासलैंड की अलग होती है और फॉरेस्ट की अलग अलग होती है. द पार्ट ऑफ द अर्थ इन विच द ऑर्गेनिजम्स एग्जिस्ट और सपोर्ट द लाइफ इज कॉल्ड द बायोस्फीयर. अर्थ का वो पार्ट जहाँ पे ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं वो रहते हैं और जो लाइफ को सपोर्ट करता है उसे हम बायोस्फीयर कहते हैं. सम ऑफ द टर्म्स एसोसिएटेड विद द बायोडाइवर्सिटी आर, द फर्स्ट इज द स्पीसीज. A species refer to a group of the microorganisms and organisms that have common characteristics and can interbreed among themselves. Example, Homo sapiens or the human beings form the one type of the animal species. स्पीसीज़ वो ग्रुप है ऑर्गेनिजम्स का जिनके अंदर कॉमन करैक्टर्स होते हैं और जो आपस में एक दूसरे के साथ रिप्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं और संतान पैदा कर सकते हैं, उनको हम स्पीसीज़ कहते हैं. जैसे कि होमोसेपियंस, जो कि ह्यूमन बींग्स की जो एनिमल एक स्पीसीज़ की फॉर्मेशन करती है. सेकंड है आपका इकोसिस्टम. एन इकोसिस्टम इज मेड अप ऑफ ऑल द प्लांट्स, एनिमल्स एंड माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स इन एन एरिया along with non-living components such as the climate, soil, water, etc. It is a relationship between biotic community and an abiotic community. Third is the habitat. The natural environment of the plant or the animal species where it lives and reproduce is called the habitat. रहने की जगह को जहाँ पे कोई भी ऑर्गेनिज्म रहता है वो क्या कहलाता है? हैबिटेट कहलाता है. Importance of the biodiversity. Every component of the biodiversity, from microorganisms to the huge animals like the elephants, play an important role in the nature. We are also economically dependent upon the biodiversity. We get a great variety of the food items, cloth items, wood, medicines, oils from the different plants. On the other hand, we get the eggs, meat, milk, leather from the animals. Causes the loss of biodiversity. Some of the major causes are as follows. First is the deforestation. The cutting down of forest trees over a wide area is called the deforestation. It takes place due to the following reason: to build the houses, factories, roads, and the dams for the day by day increasing human population, to get the wood as a fuel and for making the furniture and paper, to get more agricultural land for cultivation of the crops for the growing population, for mining of the animals such as minerals such as coal, petroleum, ores, etc. All the above causes of the deforestation are the human made. Some natural causes of the deforestation are the forest fire, droughts, attack of insects, and the pests. Overgrazing of animals is also the another cause of the deforestation. Consequences of the deforestation: it causes the soil erosion and makes the soil infertile. If the trees take in carbon dioxide and give out the oxygen during the photosynthesis, deforestation increases the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which leads the global warming. Third, it decreases the water holding capacity of the soil and causes the floods. Forests are the natural habitats of many species of the animals. It destroys their natural homes. Illegal hunting. Many wild animals are hunted for their skin, fur, tusks, claws, and the other body parts. Hunting of animals is illegal. The illegal hunting of the wild animal for the commercial use is called the poaching. Third is the pollution. Pollution of the soil, air, and water adversely affect the many plants and animals. Oil spill is also the great threat to the marine organisms. Fourth is the natural disasters such as earthquake, floods, drought, cyclones, tsunamis have also contributed in the reduction of the plant and the animal species in many areas. Exotic species. Animals and the plants that do not belong the place originally and are introduced from the some other places are called the exotic species. एक्जोटिक स्पीसीज़ वो होती हैं प्लांट्स और एनिमल्स की जो वहाँ की नेटिव नहीं होती, जिनको बाहर से इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया होता है. दे आर नोन एज द एक्जोटिक स्पीसीज. The introduction of exotic species has adversely affect many native species of the plants and animals. Flora and fauna. All the different kinds of the plants living in their natural surrounding are called the flora of that place. All the different kinds of animals living in their natural surrounding are called the fauna of that place. Next is IUCN, the International Union for the Conservation of Nature and the Natural Resources. Now it is called the WCU, World Conservation Union, is an international body to study and assess the global conservation status of the plants and animal species. IUCN maintains a comprehensive list known as the IUCN Red List of the threatened species. The main aim of this list is to focus the attention of the conservationists towards the species that are under the threat of becoming extinct and therefore promote their conservation process. All the species are classified into the 9 groups. These are: first is the extinct species. The species of the plants and animals that are not found now but once lived on the earth are called the extinct species. Example: dinosaurs, dodo bird, Nilgiri holly, and crypensea plants. Extinct in the wild. When a species is no longer exist in its natural habitat, is known only to survive in the captivity like the zoo, is said to be extinct in the wild. Example: pink-headed duck, cheetah. Third is the critically endangered species. The species that are at the extremely high risk of becoming extinct are listed in the critically endangered species. Example: pygmy hawk, mountain gorilla, hooded vulture, etc. Fourth is the endangered species. Species that are at a high risk of getting extinct in the near future due to the decline in their number and the drastic change in the habitat are called the endangered species. Example: Asian elephant, thick-billed parrot, forest owlet, golden langur, golden mole, Bengal tiger, Asiatic lion, Ganga river dolphin, blue whale, etc. Vulnerable species. Species that are already exist in low numbers and may become endangered if the causative factors like the habitat destruction, environmental disturbance, or the illegal hunting continue to operate are called the vulnerable species. Example: snow leopard, polar bear, king cobra, African elephant, Indian rhinoceros, hippopotamus, etc. Endemic species. Endemic species are those species of plants and animals that are found exclusively in a particular geographical area. They are not naturally found anywhere else. Example: Ganga river dolphin, found only in the river Ganga. Asiatic lion, Gir National Park in the Gujarat. Lion-tailed macaque, South West India. Giant pandas, South West China. Andaman and Nicobar Island contribute at least 220 endemic plants in India. Conservation of forests and the wildlife. To maintain the economically balance in the nature, some of the measures are given below for the forest. First is the afforestation, second is the preventing forest fire, third is the preventing overgrazing. तो ये सारे फैक्टर्स हैं जिनके द्वारा हम क्या कर सकते हैं, फॉरेस्ट और वाइल्ड लाइफ को कंजर्व कर सकते हैं. टू कंजर्व द वाइल्ड लाइफ वी नीड टू टेक द फॉलोइंग स्टेप्स. First is the hunting regulation, second is the reforestation, and third one is the habitat protection. Protected areas. Protected areas are the undisturbed habitats where the wild animals can flourish in the natural surroundings. Protected from the outside world for conserving and maintaining the biological diversity created by our government. National Park. National Park is a large area protected and maintained by the government to preserve the wildlife where other activities like the grazing and cultivation of crops are not allowed. Only tourism is permitted. Satpura National Park is the first reserve forest of India. There are about 102 national parks in India, while some well-known national parks in our country are Jim Corbett National Park, Uttarakhand for the tigers, Kaziranga National Park, Assam for the one-horned dinosaurs, Gir National Park, Gujarat for the Asiatic lion, Kanha National Park, Madhya Pradesh for the tigers, and Sarika National Park, Rajasthan for the tigers. Wildlife Sanctuary. It is an area that is strictly reserved for the wildlife protection in their natural habitat. Wildlife sanctuary is different from the zoo because in the wildlife sanctuary animals live freely in their natural habitats, while in the zoo they are kept in the cages. There are about 500 wildlife sanctuaries in India. Some well-known sanctuaries are Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, Rajasthan for the Siberian cranes, Chilka Lake Bird Sanctuary, Odisha for the Indian birds, Sultanpur Lake Bird Sanctuary, Haryana for the Indian birds, Pandipur Sanctuary, Karnataka for the Indian elephants, and Madhumalai Sanctuary, Tamil Nadu for the Indian elephants. Biosphere Reserve, a multi-purpose protected area that is developed to conserve the biodiversity and also to educate, train and create awareness about the environmental aspects and eco-friendly living is called the Biosphere Reserve. There are 18 biosphere reserves in India. Some well-known biosphere reserves are: first is the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve, Sundarban Biosphere Reserve, Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve. Red Data Book, the book that keeps a record of all the endangered animals, plants and other species is called the Red Data Book. There are different red data books for the plants, animals and other species. This book is trying to create the awareness about the endangered species. The first red data book on the endangered animals was published in 1991. Migration, the seasonal movement of the birds and the other animals in large number from the one place to the another to overcome the unfavorable conditions and return back to the original habitat when the conditions become favorable is called the migration. Seasonal migrations known to occur in many species of insects, birds, marine mammals. Some migrating birds are the Arctic tern and Siberian crane. Regions of migration: first, to escape the harsh and the unfavorable climatic conditions, to get unfavorable conditions of the temperature, food and the water, to get a suitable place for the egg laying or reproduction. For example, salmon fish migrate from the salty water to fresh water to lay eggs and come back. Freshwater eels go to the salty water for the fresh water to lay the eggs. Therefore, यहाँ तक हमने पूरा चैप्टर किया है 7th. आप इसे अच्छे से रीड करेंगे, रिवाइज करेंगे एंड अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे. थैंक यू. हैव ए नाइस डे.